Hello, everybody. Mark and Gonzalo here from Maple Capital Partners. And today we're bringing you video on our 5-step physical due diligence process. Now, no, we're not going to outline our entire due diligence process, but this is really the 5 most important things that we consider as part of our physical due diligence. So what is physical due diligence? Put simply, it is risk management. It's basically trying to understand as much as possible about the building's physical risks and opportunities ahead of time as possible. Now, this is usually done during the due diligence period. That period is a negotiated window during the acquisition process that's used to evaluate those opportunities and risks in the physical building. Generally, your earnest money deposit, that is the money that you come up with to essentially demonstrate to the seller that you're serious, it doesn't become non-refundable until the end of this period. So finding out as much as possible about the building itself during due diligence is crucial. We always try to negotiate with the seller for 30 days, but sometimes in the past on deals that we felt particularly confident on, we've done it as short as 10 days of due diligence. Now, we'll take you through a few of our top due diligence physical steps that we follow during that period. And all of these steps are, again, designed to tell us something about the building, how it's operated in the past, how it's operating currently, and how it's likely to perform in the future once we take over. Now, the first item on this list is the importance of a team. We've harped upon this in the past and will continue to do so going forward. There's only so much that you as a real estate investor can know or be expected to understand. And it's really important that you lean on the experts around you to bring you information based on their expertise and their experience. So we need to trust those individuals and depend on their insights during the due diligence process. Some of those individuals include your property manager, your specific trades, your general contractor or GC, could be your electrician, plumber, roofer, your pest expert, as well as your general inspector. They're going to come through and look at all the various aspects of the building and give you a report on what to look out for as you take over the property. Finally, there's your lender's inspector. After all, your largest partner in any given deal is going to be the bank or lender. And so they're going to want to make sure that they protect their investment by doing their own due diligence. So with that, I'll pass it over to Gonzalo to take you through the next few steps of due diligence.
Thank you, Mark. So after we put our team together, we like to walk the grounds. We like to get an idea of what the general condition of the site is. Is there litter everywhere? Are people's garbage piled up? That's a sign that perhaps a property manager may not be doing their job or the tenants are not taking care of their property or both. The other item we like to do is walk around the parking lot. What do the cars look like? What are the conditions of the vehicles that are there? Are they taken care of? That's also a sign of potentially a higher tenant class. How do people keep their outdoor spaces? So if folks have patios or balconies, is there a lot of garbage piled up? Are they well taken care of? Are they organized? Again, that's an indication that people are just tidy and they like to take care of the space that they live in. Another item is walking around the property. Is there a potential area or spaces where you can potentially install amenities? So amenities include things like dog parks, barbecue pits, gyms, potentially pools or Amazon lockers if your property is large enough to support those business plans. The other item is landscaping. Landscaping has a huge impact on the overall look and feel of your property. So it's important to make sure to see if the grass is cut. Is the landscaping beds, are they well manicured? Again, this is very important things to look at. What do the roofs and gutters look like? Is it a metal roof? Is it an asphalt roof? It's important to understand your property and know what type of features or types of roofing, in particular for this, your property has. The other item is surrounding properties. What are the surrounding neighborhood? What do the surrounding properties look like? Are they well maintained? What's the traffic on the road that your property is on look like? Is it heavy traffic, medium traffic? It's always important to have your property visible in order for potential future tenants to call up and potentially be a tenant in one of your properties. The next important item is walking of the interior of every single unit. You want to make sure that when you're walking units, you're taking photos and videos of every single unit that you walk through. You're not going to remember every single unit you've walked through, so those photos are going to help you on when you get back to your office to kind of refresh your memory as to what you've seen throughout the entire day. Another thing that I like to do is I like to take quick measurements with a laser level and sketch out the interior dimensions of one of the units. This is going to be good for developing quantity takeoffs for later on for any kind of pricing you might need. This is also good to give the contractors so they have a site plan of the interior unit. So that way they can use that to provide adequate and precise pricing of materials such as flooring, and even painting is charged on a per square footage cost. So that's really going to help out. Are there any deferred maintenance? Is there serious CapEx items that you see in the units? It's good to note these. And as you're walking each of the units, make sure you're taking a lot of notes. Make sure you're taking notes on the type of cabinets, the mechanicals that are in the units, the type of appliances, the bathrooms, what type of finishes are in the bathrooms, floorings, doors, and windows. These are all things that you want to know when you're taking when you're doing your interior walkthroughs. And a quick pro tip: when you're in the utility closet of each of the units, it's good to take a photo of the serial number, or what I like to call, or what it's known as, the nameplates. The nameplates on each of these units is going to have serial numbers, maybe even age of manufactured, and the manufacturer of the unit itself. This is later then going to give you information to look up when you're in front of the computer on potentially the age and the type of unit that you're looking at by a specific website that we like to use. Mark, hand it off to you.
Yeah, thanks for taking us through, Gonzalo, what our process is when we're walking the interior and exterior of the property. Now, the next item is going to be in line with walking the exterior of the property, which is visiting the property at different times of day, night, and week. So for example, when we're touring properties or doing our due diligence on the physical property, we are spending time at the property during daytime, during the nighttime, during the morning, afternoon, weekend. It's all about understanding what's going on at that particular property at various times of day and night. This is, after all, a living, breathing community, and we have to see what kind of activity goes on there at various times. It may be a very different story, what's going on there on the weekends versus what's going on in the week. And it's really important that you identify what those activities are and whether or not you're comfortable with what's going on there. Now, your biggest risk is going to be the area itself and what type of tenant that property draws, and you want to be aware of those risks going in. The last point that we'll touch upon on the physical due diligence side is talking to tenants, what we call tenant surveys or tenant interviews. Now, nobody's going to give you the real scoop like tenants will. The owner, after all, has a vested interest in selling the property, and so they're going to only give you a part of the story. Tenants, on the other hand, are going to dish all the dirt that you can take. So be prepared to hear some really crazy stories. Having a few conversations with varied tenants will help you sift through what may be an isolated incident from what's a pattern of mismanagement or neglect of the property or for its residents. Always be sure to ask them this one question when you're interviewing tenants. If they could do one thing at the property to improve the quality of life for its residents, what would it be? We've found in the past that asking that one simple question has given us some really great insights into what we should be spending our time on and focusing our efforts on when we took over the property. So those have been our top 5 elements or steps of doing our physical due diligence.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for watching this video. We hope you've learned a little bit of some of the processes that we use to perform due diligence on some of the properties that we're evaluating. And our processes are constantly improving. And we just love to share, what we've learned with everyone through these videos. So as always, be kind, be charitable, and invest wisely.